let's talk about the process. Remember that you cannot follow more than 2,000 people unless you have more than 2,000 followers. So we will always keep under 2,000 followers. Also, you cannot follow more than 1,000 people per day. So we will keep under this as well. Most likely you guys are starting off with very few following. So you will not have to unfollow to begin. The next time you do this process, you will have to unfollow people so you can follow more. Kind of confusing, but I will show you exactly how it is done. All right, you'll notice on my profile right now, I actually have 2006 that I'm following. So this is too much. Like I said before, we are over the 2,000 mark. So in order to start following people, I have to unfollow 850 people to get that number down. What I like to do is I like to break open the calculator and put in that number, 2006 minus 850. And there's two reasons I want to do this. One, I'm not very good at math. And two, I like to be able to reference back to this number because we're going to be unfollowing a ton of people. And you want to be able to keep track of this number instead of trying to memorize it. So here's another thing I like to do too is first click following, and it will give you a list of all the people you are following. And I like to open another tab and just go to Twitter. And you can just keep it on this page, or you can go to your profile. But all we want to know is now we have another place where it's going to show us how many people we're following so that we can begin to start to unfollow. Now, your first instinct would be to start unfollowing people here. And that is a big no-no. You don't want to do that because they place the people that are the most recent follows at the top. And you guys don't know this yet, but what Twitter actually does is it allows you to unfollow people. But if you unfollow people in a 24-hour period, if you unfollow too many people, they actually freeze your account. And I found this through trial and error, and it really sucks. So you actually have to wait 24 hours and before you can unfollow someone. So we do not want to unfollow people who are at the top because they're the most recent. So what you do is you just scroll all the way down. All right, I sped up the video, but what you should see once you get all the way to the bottom is this little symbol back to the top. And you know that you've made it to the bottom. And now we can start unfollowing people. So what we do is just click unfollow and just go all the way. And scroll up, and it takes some time. It doesn't take too much time. I think I got it down to like 5 minutes, maybe a little more. But anyway, you just go through all these names and unfollow 850 people. And what you do, the reason why I had you break out the calculator earlier was so that you can see that number again. And why don't we break our calculator? So we're looking at 1156. And I go to the other tab and hit the refresh button. And it shows us now we're only following 1970. So once we get to 1156, we stop. And I will show you the next step after that. Now that we have hit our perfect mark of 1,156 following, it's time for us to follow people. The main goal of following people is to have them follow us back. In following you back, you get a chance to send them a direct message and grow your following. Both of these increase your sales and traffic big time. First, we need to find a good vertical that is closely related to what our website is trying to achieve. Let's use this growth hacking class. I like to go into this search bar, and if you know of a company that is very similar to what your website is trying to achieve, that's a good way to go about it. I don't know any growth hacking courses or anything like that, so I'm just going to type in growth hacking in the search bar itself. There's a few Twitter accounts it suggests. And if you scroll down, there's actually some more down here that I usually go look for. And these are perfect. I mean, we have growth hack and growth hacking tips. I'll just click the very first one. And great, they have 5,000 followers. And these are the perfect people for my course to follow because I already know that they're interested in growth hack. That's why they followed this person to begin with. So you click this, their followers, and it gives you an awesome list of people who follow them. And what we're going to do is start down the list and just start clicking follow. All the way to we reach that number of 800 and 850 additional to what our original follow was. So let's once again bring up the calculator. And our number was 1156, so all we're just going to do is 850, and that's actually the number that we began with. And this is 2006 is the number that we are trying to, or that we will stop at for the following. And we do the exact same process. We go through the following, and then we check in on our other tab when we hit that number, 2006. So if we go to this tab, when this number hits 2006, we can stop. One important thing I want you guys to wanted to point out was after you're done following and you hit that 850 additional mark and you stop right here, you can come back tomorrow and continue on the same exact list. As you know, these followers are actually displayed in most recent time, the most recent follower placed at the very top. So you can just scroll all the way down until you don't see any more of these blues, and you can continue following on the next day, and so on and so forth. Now you'll get to a point where I don't know the exact number. I'm going to throw this out there. I think it's maybe around like 20,000 followers deep when you're scrolling down. Your browser will actually start to malfunction, or it'll just be really, really slow. And at that point, you have to ask yourself, okay, is it worth continuing on this list because it's taking me so long? I mean, you'll literally click a follow button and it could take like 3 seconds to turn blue. And like I said, at that point, you have to ask yourself, is this, are you willing to continue on this list, or should we just move on? And I think the answer to that is just move on to another list and then repeat the process. One also cool thing is any new additional followers. I mean, you know that people are getting more followers every day will show up at the very top. So that's cool. Instead of having to go through, that 20,000 people and get to the point where you left off, you can actually just start at the very top. And that way you get all the new followers and your browser still functions correctly. This system works because we are abiding by the strict rules that Twitter has placed. They are not keeping track of your following manually, so you need to keep in mind that these restrictions are on an autopilot, and as long as they don't change them, you should be fine. Always remember to be following at least 850 people after you defollow people. A simple rule of thumb is never be following less than 850 people. That way you'll always make that 24-hour period and never be unfollowing someone you have just followed. So once again, don't ever have less than 800 people in the following area. Only follow 850 people per day at a time, and only defollow 850 people per day at a time.